Welcome back to another episode of Hobby Ramble. I'm Addy.
I'm Matt.
And we have some very exciting stuff for you today. First of all, Matt is back.
I exist.
He's not sick anymore, but he is losing his voice. So
Yeah, you'll hear it. You'll hear it go throughout the evening. I'm absolutely sure.
it's a special sound effect we're trying out.
Yeah.
And today we will be talking about painting metallics in both non-metallic metal style and true metallic metals.
Yeah. Why anybody would ever choose to do non-metallic metal at any point in their life.
And Matt will explain that to us because I have no idea. Let's see. Let's go to your camera, Matt, and we can see.
Yeah, sure.
What model?
Oh goodness, he's gonna lose all of his paint. I have to actually grip him onto the handle today.
That is a metal model, right?
Yes, we got a pewter boy here.
So if you chip all the paint off, he'll still be metallic.
He'll still be metal. That's true metallic metal. No, this is I think it's a Rackham miniatures from I forget the name of the game. It was back in the aughts. They made really great pewter models. They were a little bigger than everybody else's. They always had a ton of character in them. I always loved the knights that they did when I was playing D&D. These are the guys that I always wanted. And I had this miniature. And then I lost it at some point when I was going to college or coming back from college or in the summer breaks or whatever. So I tracked, and the company went out of business. I ended up tracking down somebody who I think might be recasting them, but I'm not entirely sure. Confrontation, 100%. Thank you, Mr. Carvili. So I found this. I picked it up. I love it. So I'm trying to paint it up. You can see that I've already got a little bit of non-metallic metal that I'm trying out here. This is some sketchy stuff I was doing when we were starting our first test stream over here. And we're going to keep going at it for a while. Well, that's me.
Let's see what I brought today. I brought some spooky boys.
Look at them.
I have these skeletons. Here's one test model that I did. These are for my Soulblight Gravelords. These used to be vampire counts. I've had this kit, I think, since 2007. I think I had this kit basically since it came out. That's when I picked up my my vampire counts on me.
They look like the miniatures from, what is it, the Argonauts, like one of the very old movies with the special effects with the Jason and the Argonauts where they're fighting the skeletons at a certain point. Yeah. They have those kind of poses. I like them.
That feel right. They're like they're not super static. I do have the kit of skeletons before this one from Games Workshop as well. But these ones are a little bit more dynamic. They're moving, but they don't have the same amount of personality that the modern kits have, and I kind of like it. I like them. They're skeletons. You're supposed to have like hundreds of them in your army, so I don't want to be sitting there painting tons of detail on everything to get them ready for the tabletop. So I'm using
all of the cheats we can.
Yeah, right. So I have some lead belcher. This is go-to classic metallic color, but I also brought a bunch of contrast paints and washes and technical paints to do some weathering on them because these are skeletons and they're all sitting there rotting. I want the metal to just look real beat up. So we'll try different effects, see what works the best. And I'm not going to go back and fix anything that goes wrong because that defeats the purpose of painting.
They're skeletons. They're skeletons. They're spooky. They're a little beat up. They're kind of silly. It's all those things.
Yeah. This. I'm trying to remember how long this test model took me to paint. But I think it was I could count it in minutes. Like it was many minutes, but less than an hour.
Yeah.
And like when there's a ton of them, it's going to look just fine. But yeah, like the theme, the main color for the army is purple. So all the vampires are going to have a lot of purple and black. Purple and black are going to be the two main colors on them.
Very cool.
This I do have the zombies painted. They're just zombie colored. They have no purple.
They're zombie colored. I
Um,
don't know. I like a little green and purple in my zombies.
yeah, there's green and purple like emotionally in them, but not
In spirit.
in spirit. Not so much in the like main paint.
Yeah.
Other fun stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to give everyone an update of the things that we've been up to and why I'm not painting Space Marines today.
Yeah. What have you been up to recently? What have you been playing? I don't think you've been playing too much in terms of games, but
No,
what have you been up to?
I've been playing Zelda.
A lot of Zelda?
A lot of, well, actually not even a lot of Zelda, just a little bit. I've been doing a lot of hobbying because for a while I thought I was painting a whole new army for next month. We'll get to that in a little
We'll get to that. I think my wife has something like 450 hours in the new Zelda so far.
Oh wait, you can check?
She's cranking it.
Don't tell me you can check. I don't.
I'm not gonna throw her under the bus. It is her favorite thing in the whole wide world.
It is very fun. I just got the Master Sword.
Very fun.
It feels like the game is starting to come to an end, which is making.
Nah, that's a lie. There's more game in there somewhere.
I know. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, right, I have a lot of game.
There's as much game as you want to engage with.
So I'm not worried that I'm gonna like finish it immediately. But I actually don't. I don't think I have like any missions in the main mission line right now.
Sure.
Which is not to say that there aren't anymore. It's just I'm not there yet.
Sure.
What have you been playing, Matt?
I have played a few games of Relic Blade now. I know we've been talking about it on the stream. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. We went and we had a whole our first Thursday night at Waystone with the Relic Blade crew and had 5 or 6 people show up, and we had an absolute blast. We all played a few games. We all had we ended up having a 4-player pack yak bonanza, which was super fun.
Is that the actual name of that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But so it's a let's see. Oh no, one less blade. Is it too cold? You getting weird? Is it getting weird? I think you're probably fine.
Oh no, I think it was today was unless the models are looking weird. It wasn't too humid today.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I don't know. You'll find out real soon if it was a bad idea. But yeah, we had it's a 4-player scenario in Relic Blade, which is typically a 2-player game. And you put a pack yak, which is one of the objectives in the game. It carries all the treasure and everything. You put him in the middle of the board, and then you put the 4 players in each corner. And then you put 4 yak treat tokens down on the board around there. And the objective is to get to the pack yak and steal treasure off of it. And the first one to get 5 treasure wins. But every time you steal treasure, the yak goes off in a random direction. And at the end of every turn, it goes in a different direction. So it's running all over the board. Crazy shenanigans are happening while everybody's trying to kill each other for this. And then eventually you... and you can use those treats to lure the yak towards the character who uses the treat.
You're saying treat.
I know.
I'm waiting for
That's
Tycho
okay.
to come running in.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know that I'm a source of the goods. So yeah, it's absolutely a blast. Had so much fun. Had some new people join in. It was the first time at the club, and it was just super fun. Really silly. People jumping all over the place. Somebody making 2 6s that they needed to make in a row, and then failing to make a 2 that they needed. You know, that sort of those sorts of shenanigans, which is why we do this. You know.
Yeah, that sounds like a good old time.
It was so much fun. It was an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to our next set of games on Thursday this week.
Cool. I think it's nice that you're learning how to play a two-person game by playing the four-person mission first.
Well, no, we played our 2-person matches.
Oh,
They
okay.
take a grand total of about half an hour to play through a 2-person match.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
lovely.
it's really, really tight.
That is the amount of time
Yeah,
that I
exactly.
sometimes
That's how much you wanna. That's how much you want to do right there. Um, and we could all kind of change up partners, and then we decided we're gonna do a 4-person match. It was really,
Yeah.
really nice. It was nice playing kind of a silly game because this is a fairly serious hobby sometimes in the grim dark future with Warhammer. And it was really nice just chasing a yak around the board because he might have treasure.
Are you guaranteed to get treasure off the yak, or is that
It's a skill roll. You have to roll a 5 up to do it.
on a?
D6.
Okay, so you probably aren't getting treasure.
Well, that's just it. Relic Blade has a focus mechanic where you can use one of your actions to lend yourself another die for the next action you do. So you focus up to get your yak tree, or do you risk it for the biscuit,
I was just gonna say, I'm like, oh wow, that kind of reminds me of some of the mechanics in Sludge, and I'm like, Sean Sutter.
Yeah. Internally consistent.
Yeah, it has a similar kind of logic to the skill test. Is a what are they calling it? The target number system, and then you can modify your how you get to that target number.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. How's your painting adventure been going?
Oh, it's been an adventure. So I decided that I'm going to bring my Tau to the Grand Narrative next month. Instead
After
of
all of our streams about motivation and
yeah,
getting through all of the batch painting and all of
and,
that.
and I'll say there was probably a chance. There's a world where I finished painting everything in time, but I was actually I wasn't enjoying it anymore. It just felt like I had to paint it and I had no choice, which just made it
Yeah.
not that much fun.
It's no fun once it becomes work.
Yeah, and there's so many. Like I wanted to paint these skeletons for a while. I have some Drukari I really want to paint, and I do have. I mean, I have endless piles of Tau that can always get painted.
Mhm.
And it's just I painted 4 crude hounds over the weekend, and they're basically done. I managed to start and finish them, basically like in a day, and a little bit of basing on the next day,
Mhm.
just stuff that had to dry for a while.
Sure.
And it felt great to just have a model that like a whole unit even that I started and finished, um, in basically one pretty long sitting. I did some other things in between, but it was all on the same day,
Yeah.
which was very exciting. I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to go back to a little bit of that instead of this like mechanical painting 3 units at a time in a character.
Totally. I don't doubt that in the least. I know that it was a really stressful thing too, which is like nobody wants to stress about getting their models done for something that should be fun in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sometimes that's part of it, and sometimes it's fun to like. I enjoy a push from time to time, but if all you're doing is pushing, you can't. You don't have time to enjoy the thing.
Yeah, and like if this was the last week or something and I'm just cranking to like finish up, that's one thing. But this was going to be another
Yeah,
like 4 weeks
This was
of this.
not the end of the line for you.
Yeah. So this isn't the last we're gonna hear about the
Crimson Fists.
but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna do
The
some
last
spookies.
for now.
Yeah. We have spookies today. We'll have spookies next week.
Because it will be our Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween episode.
I'm gonna wear a costume. Are you gonna wear a costume?
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I need to find a costume.
Yeah. That's where that's another difference between you and I think, Eddie. that moment where you're like, let's change the lighting setup before, or let's change the camera setup before the stream. I go, ugh. And you go, it'll be fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. I know. I'm wrong about that instinct often. But that is an instinct I have.
What have you been hobbying on?
Oh man, I think I brought a picture for it tonight.
Ooh, pictures. We like pictures here.
I have been working on this great big conversion project for a member of the club's Exodite army, which has been super cool. Uh-oh, did we go one too far forward?
Yeah, let's see. We're gonna do things live here.
We're doing it.
Oh, okay. We got it. We know how to use technology.
We know how to use technology. Anyway,
it only goes one.
I've been working on the Exodite project that I think we mentioned on stream when Connor was here, and I don't really know how to describe it to anybody other than it's a great big dragon. And well, maybe we won't be showing it on the stream.
Okay. We'll get there. Don't worry.
We'll get there. It's all right. So it's been a lot of work. It's been a big project, and it's been a lot of like all of the pieces were together for the project ahead of time, but none of it had been like totally put together in the first place. So I was spending a lot of time like finally putting it together, filling in gaps, putting in milliput, doing all of that sort of stuff that I find myself doing often for myself and for other people. Thanks, Ed. I think we're beautiful as well. Here it is. We got there. Look at this big monster and how I'm working on. It's going to be an Exodite Wraith Knight. It is, what is it? It's a Marathi at the base, and the snake bits. And then we have the Wraith Knight chest in the middle. Those are Marathi wings that are hooked into the Wraith Knight chassis body. I had to build some muscles and joints around there to connect it. And then at the front, we've got, what is it? It's some sort of sauropod from what are they called?
Croxicors?
No, dinosaurs. I'm just saying, what's the faction?
Oh, Seraphon. Lizardmen.
One of the giant dinosaurs that people ride along with. It does kind of look like Fulgrim. It gives Fulgrim vibes. If I was going to do a Fulgrim conversion, it would probably start with Marathi as well.
Oh, that reminds me of Seed Studios did this beautiful Slanesh Demon Prince.
Oh yeah,
that was based on a Marathi.
It's a really, I think it's a really tidy little kit to base things off of. So yeah, this has been my big project that I've been working through. Been building out the base the last couple days for it. And I'm hoping to get everything. There are a couple sculpting things that I need to figure out. I had to cut off some parts of the cape that joins everything together because everything isn't totally square the way it would if you were building the model out of the kit, and then fitting that snake onto the pillar requires some clearances that weren't there with the cape after everything came together. So I need to make that look intentional instead of me chopping off the back of a cape. But yeah, that's been my busy work. Also got my second round of Relic Blade in, and I am prepping those to work.
We're gonna switch over to your camera so we can see some.
Oh, sure. Sure. My wife saw the Akkad Botanist and went, I would like to paint that. So we've been setting up a base for her. and getting all that ready to paint before we go on vacation in a couple weeks.
Where are you going?
We're going all the way over to Hood Canal.
Oh, that's lovely. So,
It is really nice. We're renting a house out in the woods, and she and some friends are going to be doing some diving, and me and the spouses who don't dive are going to hang out and partake of several things and probably spend a lot of time painting miniatures. And I know my partner in crime out there, she makes a bunch of dyes from wild plants.
that's cool.
Yeah, she's really, really skilled at that. So she'll probably be doing that while I am painting miniatures.
That's interesting. I have a coworker that used to have a flower farm
Yeah,
out in it was in Snohomish.
sure.
And he was making dyes out of them, and he had a dye share.
That makes sense. Yeah, she's everything in their backyard in West Seattle, you can either eat or turn into a dye.
I think you can eat most things in my backyard too. It's just wouldn't taste very good. Lots of grass, some trees. But we are building a raised bed in the front yard this year.
Fun.
Trying to do it while there's still leaves on the ground, so we can just put all the leaves in there.
That's a very Seattle thing to build, I feel like. Raised bed.
Yeah.
If you have a yard, which is a pretty big caveat here. But if you have a yard, you gotta have a raised bed, man.
Yeah. And it's I have a friend who told me I can't remember exactly what is the reason, but there was some factory, I think it was something like that was releasing some kind of pollutant into the air. It wasn't like, it's kind of bad for you, but it wasn't that bad. But it's really bad if it's in your food.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the soil in the area has whatever this is in it. So it's actually not great to grow food directly in the ground unless you test your soil to make sure that it's fine. A lot of the soil has been changed.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're at, because I know, like out on a lot of that pollution from Tacoma, it was like a metal refinery or something like that. A lot of that landed on the south shore of Vashon.
Yeah.
Or is it Murray or Maury? Anyway, there's an area there that the state bought and is trying to recover because it's got too much arsenic and I don't know, other heavy metals.
Yeah.
Lead.
Yeah, and it was the kind of thing where it's like, it's not a problem if you test your soil to make sure that it's clean, and it's not a problem if you have a raised bed.
Yeah.
Right, you just want to make sure that you're growing it in new soil, that you know what's in it.
That makes sense.
So that's why it's also going to be a fun little project. Take a break from remodeling our kitchen before we one day finish it. We did install new pendant lights.
Oh, that's exciting.
So we only have one more outlet to install before we can get all of our electrical work inspected. And then we have to do a lot of trim.
I know it's been almost a year for you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Shall we move on to our topic of the evening?
Oh yeah. Do we want to let's do the exciting news in the world of Warhammer.
Oh, yeah, sure, we can do that. Love it.
Let's see. Okay, do you think we can use the slideshow properly? I think the answer is no.
No. We're gonna try it.
Okay, we're gonna just do this. We're gonna do this.
Transition. We have transitioned.
Oh, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go click here and then click here. Nothing. Oh, it does not like us.
Love this.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, in the meantime,
let's look.
We could talk about non-metallic metal in the meantime.
Yeah. Do you want to start talking about non-metallic metals?
I would love to talk about it. So I'm working on some non-metallic metal on this little knight guy of mine. I love him. He's special. He doesn't have actually that much metal on him for being in some plate armor. And I don't know. I feel like non-metallic metal is a loaded term in the hobby. I think that it is people use it in the same way that they talk about maybe wet blending or edge highlighter, two brush blending, or loaded brush blending, or like the way that people talk about techniques. And non-metallic metal is not a technique. It is just painting. We're just painting things. We're just painting metal without using metal pigments. And people have been doing this forever. As long as there have been shiny things to paint, we have been painting shiny things.
Yes.
I think that there are times where we are painting things like Space Marine armor, and it's kind of, you have people who do it very matte and very flat where there's no reflection off of that. Those tend to be a little boring to me. There are people who do it to kind of a satin where they're like, there's a little bit of shine going on here. And then you have people that go like full shiny metal, non-metallic. And I think the thing to look at there is when you're talking about non-metallic, you're like, well, where's the line? Where does that actually start coming in there? And I don't know that there's a super clear answer. Like this guy, his armor is not going to be polished. It's not going to be throwing off strong, clear reflections that we'd see from other things. I'm drawing it like it's a pretty shiny surface. And I'm not very good at it either, which is cool when you're doing a stream and you're like, hey, I'm not good at this. Watch me. But
it's like you say, watch and learn as I learn
As I learn.
at the same time with you.
But I think, I mean, Addie's going to hit me with some of the why he doesn't like non-metallic metal. And I think you're fair because, like, for a lot of things, it's a process that takes a long time. It's very fussy. It's very challenging to do in a convincing way. And there's no way that you're doing this across 100 models in an army, right? Well, that's crazy. But I do think this has scared me for a while. And I like to do things that scare me. And I feel like there are just times where it's like, why am I avoiding this? If just because I don't want to do it 100 times, I'm only going to do this model once. Why don't I just do this model in this way and see what I can figure out along the way? For the same reason that I try anything. I've tried so many techniques and gone, I actually don't really like doing things this way. I'm not going to do that again in the future.
I will say, you know what's one thing that's not scary?
What's not scary?
Liking or subscribing
Ooh,
to
I love a call to action.
So if you like what you're seeing, you like hearing us talk about hobby stuff, about what we're doing, about different techniques. If you think you can learn something new, just give us a like, give us a subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to us.
Let's be honest. If you're like kind of tuned in right now, that's enough for a like and a subscribe, really, right?
Yeah. Remember, we get to 1,000 subscribers. Matt will climb the wall that's right behind us.
He sure will try
on stream.
So I guess without really getting to it, or without really going over and repeating myself too many times, I'm doing this right now because I think it's a valuable thing to learn in general. Just because something is hard doesn't mean that it should be avoided. I think that there are plenty of places that you could apply it to in your army painting. I think that this has made me, that trying this in several places has made me a better painter for things like power swords. Power swords look their best. I mean, it's not silver, it's not gold, but it is, some blue, highly shiny. You want high contrast from this and that and the other. Practicing painting metals is going to teach you where to put those shines and how big they should be and how drastic the difference should be on all of those.
Yeah. I will say that is, I did write a note in our plan for today that the place that I use NMM techniques is when I'm painting like a glowing power sword,
Yeah,
but it's because I don't use a metallic paint. Like I actually think that a lot of times the colored metallics don't look very good. Um, like there are times where it works, but for the most part, if I'm painting metallics like silver, gold, bronze, brass, things that are like classically a metal, I think that the modern metallics are just so good
they are
that
very good.
that you can get just really really great effects with them. And you can do, you know, you can do one coat of a metallic paint, and that's probably enough in a lot of cases. Like you get
Oh,
enough
you're
depth, you get everything you need out of it. If you want, you can put a wash on it to make it look a little duller, or if you put a little bit of a gloss varnish in there, you can keep the shine. If you wash it and then just highlight it back with itself with its own color, then you get a ton of depth. And right, you've used two different pots. So that's the first reason I prefer true metallic metals to non-metallic metals. It's just I feel like the quality of the paint like is it's really there now where you can get the effects you want without too much work. The other reason is that I don't paint very many display pieces,
mm-hmm.
um, and I think that non-metallic metals really shine, pun intended, when you're painting display pieces, pieces that have you can really dictate how someone's going to look at it. You can position it in a way where all the highlights look right,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then then everything looks good, because a lot of times with non-metallic metals the highlights are very directional, and if you look at the model from the side, it like things just look off because you're not seeing the highlights in the right place.
I mean, I will devil's advocate. I mean, I agree for the most part. For army painting or for doing something where you're making 50 of a thing, use metals, use true metallics. It's the right choice. I will counterpoint that to like every highlight you put on your model, it's the same thing where like, oh, well, if I turn it upside down, well, all the highlights are in the wrong spot. Where if it was, any highlight I put on this model has to do with a fake directional light that I am putting on this model.
Yes.
So tilting it one way or tilting it another way is going to manipulate that, whether or not I'm looking at something that I've painted as metal or painted as something else.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's the question of, but does it still look good when you're looking from the wrong angle? And I think that with non-metallic metals, it often doesn't. Although I have seen some very, very well done non-metallic metal, and it is an impressive technique.
I think that the more gloss you're trying to go for in a non-metallic metal, the harder it's going to be to sell. The more reflective the material it's trying to be, the harder it's going to be to sell. Like, I feel where I've used it to the most success have been either in duller metals or on I like them. Yeah, the solution is to never highlight. You're right, Connor. We just accept that nothing will ever get better in our lives. Never, never, never do anything. And then it will always look. We'll just. I guess if we painted all those Joy Toy minis where it's big enough where the natural light will actually highlight your model in a more realistic way, maybe we could do it like that.
Yep.
It
That counts.
counts. It totally counts.
I like Rory's view. Never ever do anything.
Never do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we solved it. We solved Warhammer.
I call it slugging. um what was I gonna say? Oh, where I think where I've used it more successfully has been with more cartoony models. I did it on all of my. I don't think we put it in there.
No, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We'll see, what we'll do is we'll go to the end.
Yeah. I've done it with all of my Relic Blade models, and I feel like it has been a really
Oh, hi, Tycho.
Hi, Tycho. No, that's too much, bud. No, that's too much. No, I don't love that part.
Hi, bud.
Hi, you're good.
Hi. We're gonna go to the front view because we have
Front
dog
view
cam.
because we got dog cam. Hi, Tycho. Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay.
Now that that's out of the way.
Wow. What a dog. What a dog. He was so excited to see me. Oh man, I think he might have missed me. Might have thought I died. I wasn't sure. What was I saying? Before Tycho was rad by us.
We got it. We got it.
Oh, look at that. Look at these controls.
This is doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The Relic Blade models I did, because I kind of did them in a cell shaded sort of way, it would have looked wild to put like a shiny metal effect in there. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm doing some non-metallic metal for this. I guess that's where I am right now. And I gotta be honest, I kind of really like the way they turned out. It didn't take me very much. It was very sketchy, the same as everything else that was going on. But I think there's...
Yeah, I do really like this. I think they look super cool.
Just having a sketchier model is such a great opportunity to just like try different stuff.
For those of you wondering.
Yeah, look at it. I think it looks all right. I think he looks like a cartoon, but you can tell the bits that are supposed to be metal. You can see he's got a cool gold bracelet on his right hand. I really like it.
Yeah, he looks great. I do really like there, and that's really non-metallic.
It is as non-metallic as it could do. Yeah. And yeah, I think anytime you can find an excuse to try a new technique and just go for it in a small context like this, where it's like, it's low stakes, who cares? That's a great time to try new things.
Yeah, let's see. I think that this. Let's see if it'll work. We're really trying this.
We're trying
to get the slides to work.
Yeah.
There we
go. Hot dog.
Look at that. It's Batman Forest box time. I think they have a better name than that, but that's what we'll call them.
Christmas box.
Christmas box. Holiday box.
Love a Christmas box.
I always thought, like, wow, it's like, you can ask for what you want for the holidays. No, this is not for people to get as a present. This is for people to buy multiples of.
Where is the... Think about me. What do I need? Yeah. I need 60 Einhir Hearthguard. That's what I need.
That's right, Connor. Those models were inspired by Darkest Dungeon.
100%. I saw Pigman and I went, well, we're doing Red Hook Darkest Dungeon because I have spent so many hours in that game and I love it so much.
Yeah. So, what do you think? I know nothing about the squats. What do you think of this box?
I think this is a very easy buy for anyone who is into squats right now.
Yeah.
I have not played them in 10th, but I can tell you what's good. And Hearthguard are good right now. Hearthguard are good, and they've been out of print. Or they've been hard to get for a long time.
Now we know why. They put all of them in the box.
They put them all in a box so they could sell them later. No, the Hearthguard is just so much fun to play. I don't know. I can't say they're fun to play. I haven't played with them. What do I like? I like little guys in big armor. That's what I like.
And big booties.
And
most importantly,
they've got chunky cakey butts. And what else do you want in the world? They got big hammers. They've got punchy fists. They got everything you want. Now, seriously, they're actually really quite good. And with the fact that everybody's costs got dropped so dramatically, everybody can kind of fit 10 more Einhir in their list.
Yeah.
That's affordable right now, which is crazy. They hit like a truck. They're not great anti-tank, so like you still do need your Thunderkin or other things in there to get that job done. But points where they're actually, you can deep strike them, so you actually get some mobility in an army that very badly needs it.
Which are the Einhir? Are those like Terminator?
They're the Terminator equivalent. They're like T6,
yeah.
2 wounds.
God, they're T6.
Yeah,
I feel like they should be more, but also I feel like Tau Crises should be more than.
It might be T7. I don't know. No, I think they're T6. But yeah, everybody who's listening to us, look at what Rory's talking about, because Rory knows what's up.
Yeah, we don't know anything about playing Warhammer, but we know a whole lot about painting Warhammer.
I'd also say that Sagittars are really good right now. Einhir Champion is like, it's fine. It's good to throw in with the Einhir Hearthguard. They give you rerolls on the charge, which is fun for a unit that you want to get in. Having Hearthguard with the fallback, shoot, and charge strat that you can use with them is really spicy because you've got lots of guns and lots of melee. It brings a lot of heat. Having a Hecaton is fun. They're not as good as they were, but they're still handy to have around. And Grimnir are actually kind of cool because they increase toughness of the unit by 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can hit some cool breakpoints with that. At least I think that's the case. I don't have references in front of me, and I haven't played them before. But they are handy to have around. So I would say if you're thinking about Votann, this is a box. I would buy it, except I got laid off last week. So it's hard to justify for me right now when I have a 10 Hearthguard that I still have to build. But otherwise, this is a good box. Next one,
Orcs.
Orcs.
I looked at I don't play Orcs. I think secretly I'm an Orc player because what I like best about Tau are the Kroot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're kind of like bad Orcs.
The Kroot are like bad Orcs.
They're like malnourished, very hungry Orcs because they're just real skinny. But I saw this box and I'm like, oh, this kind of has all the things that I'd want to play with. Because I really
so
like
many
the
squigs.
Yeah, I like the squigs. I think it's like Beast Nagaboys in the back, and it comes with the big the big squigmobile. I forget what it's called. Someone in chat knows.
Does something under.
It is. I'm waiting for someone to tell me. I forget what it's called, but it's big and it has wheels and a squig. It shoots like magic and it has a big gun on it. Like it's just ridiculous.
Describing everything orc,
Yeah.
but
it's also, it would be like a great piece to kit bash. Just stick any vehicle bits I have left over from every other kit and just keep sticking it on there.
Totally.
Next, so this is like I like this kit because I think it would be fun to paint. It has I don't think, I'm trying to look closely because our screen is small. I don't think that it has more than one of each kit in it. So like, you're actually getting the most variety of kits here.
Well, that's fine.
Not of all.
That's a good point.
But it's fine. You're getting a lot of different stuff, especially looking from the hobby side of it, because I really don't know the rules for Orcs other than WoW, which I hear is worse than it used to be.
That said, our touchstone for Orc stuff has strong opinions about most things.
Yes.
Love you, Alex.
Next up, we have the Imperial Guard, or the Astra Militarum, depending what year it is. I am actually least excited about this. I like.
I'm always least excited about guard. They're little soldier boys with their big tanks named after somebody rad, and it's just a whatever.
Yeah, I actually really like their combat patrol, and this weirdly doesn't feel like it works well with it.
Oh sure.
Because the combat patrol already comes with a bunch of Cadians, and it
Mm-hmm.
comes with a command squad. So right, you can always have more infantry and guard. So like that's fine, but I also you get two of the same tank in addition. Um, if you're a guard player, I'm guessing you probably already picked one up when it came out because it
Mm-hmm.
didn't come out like it wasn't I guess there were a few other new models, but this feels like the centerpiece you would pick up. So I guess this if you want to start a guard army and you have nothing like this, and the combat patrol might be a pretty good start.
I mean, yeah, it does seem pretty reasonable if you are starting from nothing.
Yeah, but other than that, it to me it doesn't seem like the most exciting stuff to paint. It's like you're basically have you have three kits total, right? Two tanks, that's one kit,
Tanks.
two boxes of Cadians, and a
Yeah.
command squad, and that's it. So it's kind of like you're jumping right into army painting.
But if you're talking value wise too, like if you're starting a new army, value
It's
wise,
good value.
it's good value for
Yeah.
dollar.
Next up, oh, the biggest winner of the batch. Womp, 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 womp. This is probably, to me, the most disappointing of all the boxes because you're getting um, three of the same kit. They're all jump assault. There's nothing different about them. There's no like I have the kit. It's a cool kit, but there aren't that many um, variations to it. And I don't think anybody wants bikes and ATVs. So you're like you're actually not getting any value out of it because you're probably just paying the cost of those three kits and getting stuff you might not want.
You really don't want. Yeah. No, I think I look at it and it's a little bit hard for me to break with it because um my mindset is still very ninth edition Space Wolves where I spent so much time and money kit bashing Primaris Wolf Guard with jump packs and it was such a pain and I never ended up finishing things. And now I see a box that has all of that for a discount, and that hurts me a little bit.
Yeah.
That said, I can understand that like unless this is really what you want,
Yeah.
unless this is exactly what you want to run on the table, I think there's a lot of people who just don't want this.
Yeah. And Tyranids.
Nids.
I actually kind of have the same feeling about this box, but I think that other people might feel differently. I think it's what I like about this over the guard box is that it doesn't come with two Norns.
Sure.
Because again, like people who wanted a Norn emissary probably picked one up already.
I like that it comes with one though.
Yeah, so if it comes with one, so if you haven't gotten it yet, what do we have there, Tycho? Hey bud, leave it.
Good.
I'm gonna go.
We gotta go to Tycho has found something to chew on that sounds like it's plastic. Ah, rad.
Good job.
Yum, he found some plastic. I mean, the having a Norn is nice because it would be lame if it was a Christmas box and you didn't get a Norn. If you're starting an army, you want a Norn. If you have ordered if you're a slower grow army sort of person, you might have one, you might have two Norns. Now you can get your third Norn. It's nice to have. So I think having the one is really nice. It would be sad if it didn't have anything like that. All the nids, all the whatever,
Ripley's.
yeah, the little ones in the back. They're very cool. You're gonna need them anyway. It's kind of I think that comes in handy for the people who are like, oh, I have so many old ones and I don't want to run my old ones anymore now that the new kits are out. You can replace it with that.
And these actually look like I actually, so someone in chat correct me if I'm wrong, but these are different than the ones that came. These are the melee
Yeah,
gaunts,
I
not
believe
the
so.
shooting gaunts, and it's not the same kit anymore.
Correct.
So if you bought the Leviathan box, this is actually a great addition. I take that
Yeah.
back. I like this kit now. I think that it does fill out your army. It feels, I guess to me, it doesn't feel like the way that I would want to play Tyranids, but I guess that's more of a me problem than a kit problem.
That is a you problem. You probably want a bunch of shooty psychic garbage.
I do. I want all the brain bugs.
I just want to run at you and murder you.
Speaking
of running at you,
murdering.
murder you. we got our World Eaters box. What's my feeling on this?
I don't like Angron personally.
Just as a person.
I don't like Angry Ron or Angronius. So this kit doesn't do it for me, but I think that if you
saw World Eaters release this spring and you were like, oh, that would be cool. But I got some other stuff going on right now. I have other projects on my list. Maybe I'll pick them up later. This is what you pick them up with.
Yeah.
You get your Angron, you get some 8-bound, you get some Berserkers. There aren't that many kits in the army that far right now anyway.
I mean,
it's a great starter.
You buy this. Well, okay, so I guess you buy this and you buy the combat patrol, and you're like, you basically have a whole army almost. You just get like a couple rhinos.
Mm-hmm.
It is 30 berserkers, but it also
but it's 30 berserkers.
But it's also 30 berserkers. Like, you don't have a lot more that you can take in the army. I guess you could get the Terminators, but they're not special, so I get it.
Yeah, if they were Red Butchers, maybe.
Yeah. So this kit, I've been very tempted by World Eaters for a while,
several times.
If this kit didn't have Angron in it, I would probably buy it. I just don't want an Angron sitting on my shelf when I know that I'll probably buy Magnus and paint Magnus before I paint Angron.
You still have at least one Magnus to paint.
Yeah, I probably have I'll buy a 40k Magnus before I paint a 40k Angron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you, Roy. This is a great starting point for the army.
Yeah.
If you were considering it, this is just like, well, here you go. Here's like 1,000 points ish.
Yeah. Usually that's usually what they work out to be, somewhere between 800 and 1,200, depending on what. There's like no Custodes this year, because the Custodes box was like,
here's an army,
1,400 points.
Yeah. You pick up a couple characters that aren't in there and you just run with it.
Yeah. And then we'll go next up. We have what I think are the most exciting boxes are the AOS ones.
AOS ones.
This box is so cool.
You got Croxagores, you get Saurus, you get Skinkos.
It's a new Skinks.
They're in the new Skinks too, huh?
The new warband for Warcry.
Oh, so the Skinkamelions, whatever they are.
No, it's a hunter, something hunters.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it is the chameleons. I can't see. It's so small, but they're the newer skin. It has a Slan, and it has the Dino Riders, the Saurus Dino Riders, not the skink ones. So this box is really cool. Like, if you're thinking about picking up Lizardmen or Seraphon, like, this box is awesome. Like, this is
the box.
This is like actually everything that I want to paint in the army, and not a lot of the things I don't want to paint. Like,
you don't like the big Saurus monsters.
Like, big dinosaurs just like didn't do it for me, but everything else in the army I'm just really excited about. Dan is right. Does the Space Marine even break 500 points? I don't think it does.
I doubt
They're
it.
85 for 5 for the jump assault. The,
5 I've stopped paying
yeah,
attention to anything Space
they're
Marines.
85 for 5. I mean, it is not
Oh,
even 500 points. That is such a. This,
85 for 5. I'm Jesus, that's cheaper than some dwarfs that have had
yeah.
their points reduced
They're
several
only
times.
5 points more than assault intercessors. I mean, they're
Jesus.
priced to sell.
Yeah, they're gonna move. Jeez. Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. That's rough. Wow, just barely breaking 500 points on a Christmas box. I get that there are models that people will want, maybe, but then you got all this stuff where, I think I understand people that are upset about the tactical rocks they put them on.
Yeah.
They're awkward. They're all in the same pose. They're all jumping off the same rocks.
Yeah. Next up, oh, this is the OCR Bone Reapers.
Bone Daddies.
I no secret, I really like skeletons. As you can see on the table, I've played both Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts in Warhammer Fantasy. Um,
The guy likes bones.
yeah, I think that like 15 and 16-year-old me wanted stuff that's easy to paint, but I still think they're cool. um, So I am really interested in the Osiark Bone Reapers. This has a lot of the kits that I would want. I have to make some decisions about whether I'm going to build up a Tomb King's army for the old world or a Bretonia army. I also played Bretonia in my youth. So they both have a place in my heart. But if I'm going to paint up Tomb Kings, I feel like the OCR Bone Reapers they're like so similar in their styling. They're like, I mean, they're not. They're totally different styling, but they're so similar in their concept of
The
like
the
bone
the
construct.
niche that they're supposed to fill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't think I'd want to do both at the same time. So this box, well, I think it's really cool, and I think that anyone who wants to paint skeletons should buy it. I don't know if it's for me personally.
I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair read of the situation.
No, like unlimited money, maybe not unlimited.
It's unlimited time.
Unlimited
Totally.
time. That's really the problem.
We all know that money has never been an object when it comes to painting models for
Yeah.
anybody.
Oh, chaos.
Chaos.
I don't know. I felt like this box was underwhelming. Not like I don't think that anything there is like particularly bad or not fun to paint. It just feels like everything else.
I like the
Accurate.
high amount of ogroids there because I think they're cool models.
Do they have? It's just 3 though. No. Yeah, it's just 3.
It's just the 3.
It's just one unit. And
Never
then
mind.
It's the Chaos Knights.
Yeah, that's
And then I think it's
some
again
some cultists.
is it chosen in there? So someone who has
someone who has a bigger screen?
someone who has a bigger screen and knows what's in the box.
I've always been on the fence for what is it? Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah.
I think they're super cool. I think a lot of the models are really neat. A lot of the cavalry, especially, I think is so rad. But I don't know that this is it for me. I've never. There's like so many Gribblies on them.
Yeah.
It's just that is the aesthetic is like overpacked with Chaos Gribblies. And that's too much for me to deal with right now. And you still need to paint a lot of them. It's not a super elite army. I know our friend Wes has spent a lot of hours painting Slaves to Darkness. And then after they started playing it, they went, this isn't silly enough for me.
Yeah. They are a very silly person.
And when it comes to like, if it's not silly, I start getting upset when I lose. It's a tanky army, but it wasn't tanky enough. It's that sort of feeling. It's not living into the story they're selling you. That sort of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
I always feel like that's what gets me in these games is like if you're selling me on a fantasy, you gotta deliver on that. Even if I lose, I just need to do the thing that I should be able to do.
Yeah. I Avatar is saying the Daughters of Cain are also all on tactical rocks, and I've never noticed that. Like I've definitely looked at Daughters of Cain. I think they're really cool. And I looked at them probably around the same time I was starting my Drukari
Mm-hmm.
because they're kind of the same thing. Like they
There's
had the same rules.
there's
Uh,
a similar vibe going on.
is like the progressively better abilities like as the game progresses, like it's very like similar conceptually, uh, but I didn't even notice that they're all bouncing off of rocks and like actually like really makes sense for the aesthetic of the army.
Totally.
But yeah, but I can understand why that gets uninspiring at some point where when it's that I do like my flight stands. I like actually having a variety of flight stand and not flight stand. So I hope that it comes back. That like we experiment with all these tactical rocks, but that it doesn't stay forever.
Don't get me wrong. I love a tactical rock. I often put things on tactical
The most
rocks.
tactical.
But when I put it on there, I get to decide how it's going on there. And generally, it's most of the base. The most egregious tactical rocks are the ones where it is a single spiky thing to make it look like the thing is flying. And for people who base their models on generally flat bases, like grits and with a couple tufts, like it looks dumb having one rock stick out. I agree wholeheartedly with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't base mine like that, but I hate that it makes you look dumb unless you do.
Satraman is recommending the Captain Morgan pose on the tactical rock.
Always. It's a favorite for a reason.
Um,
Things are classics for a reason. Lean in, lean in.
Last box for this season is this one. It's the Soul Blake Gravelord box, which I actually think I'm gonna get.
Yeah?
Yeah, this
For your
has
spookums?
this has basically all the things that I want for the army. It has more skeletons. It doesn't have any zombies in it, which I feel like zombies are cool, but I already have my really old, really goofy zombies.
Mm-hmm.
It has more skeletons, which I don't know if I want those or not, but I guess I could always have more because you can also they come back now. I don't remember, but they
Something rules.
like some things come back, some things can I think zombies you can have more than you started with.
That's pretty cool.
It has I think those were dire wolves. Um, and I think these are the dire wolves down here in the
Yeah.
corner, and then
And
then
there's Blood Knights
Blood
up in the top right, which are
And-
super cool.
yeah, and the Vingorian Lord.
Mm.
They're like these are things that I just want for the army, and I think this actually brings me almost to 2,000 points.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, and it's cool because I've actually bought no kits for this army except for one vampire. There's a limited edition vampire with the baby dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I bought that, and then I just rebased all of my old vampire counts, and I'm like I'm pretty happy with it because I don't think I wanted to play vampire counts in the old world again. Um, so we'll see. I mean, I think of all the boxes, 40K and AOS, like this is the box that I think I'm most likely to get. I do really like that Seraphon box too, because I do think Seraphon are pretty cool.
I agree with you that
Um,
Seraphon are pretty cool.
and they might,
The dinosaur kid in me, man.
yeah. So we'll see. But I don't think I'm picking up any 40K boxes.
No, I like I said, part of me wants to get the Leagues of Votan one because I could use, I think, everything except for an Einherjar champion, and the Grimnir is okay for me.
Yeah.
But you know, we can wait. I can clear out some of my backlog before I get deep into that. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, and Avatar is saying no flesh eater quartz, which I think you're right. I think that they will get a big box when they're released. Like I think they are going to get an army box, and I think they're going to get a huge line refresh. Like I mean, those kits are
It seems like that's
old.
they look cool, but
they're from the same era as the skeletons. They came out at the same
are
time.
they really?
Yeah, the ghouls. I should. Ooh, that reminds me. I should probably buy some of those bigger. There's the bigger ghouls. I forget the crypt ghasts maybe. They make really really good grotesques for 40K.
Oh sure.
They're kind of like just the right pose already, and you get if you buy a Talos Chronos kit, it comes because it's a Talos or a Chronos. It comes with a lot of extra Pokebits, like the syringes, the heads, and all of that. So you can, if you have one of those, you can basically kit bash a whole squad. Okay.
In the meantime, I've been working on the helmet for this gent over here. I'm kind of choosing to do a little bit more heavy light on the right. It's coming along. We're selling.
Yeah, I mean, Satrum, I think AOS might be a nice way for me to take a break from 40K, which like I've just not been as excited about lately. I am really excited about the grand narrative, and we had a lot of folks in the club that are going. We've been talking about it, and the thing that like I'm most excited about is just going to go like hang out with my pals for a weekend, and we'll play some games, but we'll really just get to hang out and have a good time together.
Going on vacation with your friends is fun.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. But yeah, having a game that you're excited about that isn't the thing that you're not excited about right now is a valuable prospect.
Yeah. So I tried to do some of this now, like oxide on here. This is going to be so hard to see on
put it
on
on
the
your
camera.
put it on your left.
Let's see.
What's this?
Go to left seat.
Left side.
So I added a little bit of there we go. It's so small. I'll do it on a bigger area. It didn't look very good, so just a heads up. This isn't going to look great, but I'll show it to you anyway, so you see what it looks like.
I was going to say we can also. I think we talked about doing the stream a little bit shorter today.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. This is a good spot. Oh, right.
So we can kind of show what we're doing. Wrap up in the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah. Tab rules stink. That's right, Dan. They really do, because you don't get to have army rules until turn 3, and then
it's the same reason I don't love the Space Wolf rules.
And then it feels like it's all a little too strong.
To make up for it.
Yeah, but you're just playing catch up. At that point, I'm like, well, I probably already lost at this point. Okay, so we'll put all this Nihilic Oxide here. This color is so bright. This actually like doesn't look great just straight over the steel. It does have the right effect, so that's good. But I think that doing this either after
everything's fine,
or just making it more metallic after Agrax, I think will look better. right? Like I kind of want to dull down. The metal is actually too shiny. Yeah, so you see how it's like kind of green in there, um, but well, it's kind of green. It's the metal is still like it looks new. We don't want it to look new.
No, you can tell by my voice. We're not quite there, but we're getting we're getting there. I haven't had a coughing fit on camera, and I do still have a voice, even if
Yeah.
it is especially raspy.
Oh man, we didn't even get to all of the cool weathering stuff. Let's do this one real quick.
See, you got stuff you want to show now.
I know. The battle boxes were just so exciting. So what in chat? What battle boxes are you most excited about? Let us know, and you can also let us know which battle box you most would want to see us paint on stream, and maybe we'll do that. No promises.
I got my own boxes to paint on stream, man.
Yeah, but we should all pick Soul Blight Gravelords, and we should paint it on stream. I just happens to be in the purple scheme.
Yeah, just snag me for batch painting.
Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm gonna just move this over here so we can all see that. So I took out some Gryph-hound Orange on my palette and some Agrax Earthshade. And this is the new one that is just a little bit more similar to the contrast paints. And then I have contrast medium. I really don't want this to be too strong because this is going to go right over like a big area of metallic. But what this orange is going to do is going to give it a little bit of a rust color. So I'm mixing this in, and I'm just going to pull in. This orange is a very strong color, so try not to get too much in there. And then I'll take this shield that is really, it's the whole thing is metal, and I kind of go all over with it first. Right, and I'm doing this because this whole thing is supposed to look kind of beat up and janky, and like it's been in the ground for like a few hundred years. So like we're not expecting it to have really any shine to it. And this is also one of the times where I'm varnishing with a matte varnish over the metallics because I really don't want them to have any shine. I can come back in and touch a couple of edges if I want to bring that back in. To maybe
trying to kill your shine on your metallics,
and if I do want a little bit of shine on like the edge of the sword, maybe somewhere that might have rubbed, then I can come back in and do it. But now, and then the last thing I'm doing here is I'm bringing just a little bit of this, like basically just the orange contrast, and dropping it in a couple of places where I think it might be a little more rusty. And this way, you're getting like just a really nice kind of corroded effect on here, to really sell that this is old. This worked even better than I expected.
Selling in was a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. See, that's why I was trying to paint a whole army in 2 months.
Also, you're a sadist.
Yes. And the nice thing about the contrast paints, like I can move them around a little bit, but once they start drying, you don't want to touch them. They will tear up. If you do have some pooling that you don't like, you can just soak it up.
Hey, bud.
But we do want a little bit of pooling, and as you can see,
please. Thank you.
So here we have the shield. So this is just lead belcher underneath, and then this contrast washes to really give it that weathered look. Now I could come back after after I varnish this and give it a little really light dry brush of a metallic to just maybe like the edges are shiny, but I could also just leave it like this and I'd feel pretty happy with it. And I'm just gonna hit the back with a wash to really darken it down. Ooh, that's way too orange. Yeah, a lot of the backs of the shields I don't do too much on. I'll normally just go with like a Rhinox.
That's not it.
Rhinox hide and an Agrax wash, and that's it. And I don't touch it, mostly because it's all just too close to everything else. Tycho is getting into stuff. I think Tycho's telling us it's time to start.
It might be time to start
wrapping up. What do you have? Do you want to show?
Yeah, let me show where we ended up. So let's see if we can get this. So I'm mostly working on this side of his body today. While we were doing the boxes, I just did his helmet and his gorget. I think that's what it is. A little V-shaped thing in front of the face that's meant to catch arrows. So I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. It's still a little sketchy, but I think he's gonna be a little sketchy because I kind of like that vibe for him. So I'm gonna keep working on it in my own time. This is sort of a personal project. It's not really for anything, but I do deeply enjoy him, and I might find a way to use him as an excuse when it comes to painting his tabard here, and we'll paint a tabard on a boy. All right, I think that's it for me, though. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us for the last couple hours. Really appreciate it. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Tycho's really excited to make noise.
He would love it.
Yeah,
noise for the stream.
He was very participatory this week.
He's very in the mix.
We're gonna get him model to paint next time.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. Next week, I think we're getting spooky.
Yeah, we're gonna have some pretty cool models that I've had sitting around for a while.
I'm gonna be painting my giant bone construct for relic play.
That thing is so cool.
It's super cool, and I will be painting it up and hopefully get it done over the course of the stream. We'll see how it goes.
Those go pretty fast.
They paint pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think I'll be able to finish a model, so I'm going to paint up some stuff from the Cthulhu board game.
Love it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Keep hobbying.